Having some popcorn. Alright. How is everybody? Let's go ahead and get this to. I gotta get better. Here we go. Alright. We're gonna read today from. I can't read that backwards, but I read it from this book before. It's 101 Sublime Poems, an anthology of English classical poetry. So again, Tuesday mornings, a little late, it's 10 o'clock. Usually do this a couple hours before, but I had some, ran my boy to school, and then he forgot his backpack in his mom's car, so I had to go to her to work, get his backpack, take it back to school. Hey! Excellent! And then I dropped that off, and then we had a local election that I had to, just a one thing, it wasn't any big thing, but so I went and voted. Now I'm home. Now I'm doing our weekly poetry thing, so tune in each week around this time. If you miss it, that's all right. Just watch for it. You can watch the replay. But the more the merrier. We love to get live people in to shout out and say hi. But I realize that everybody's got lives and stuff, so not a big deal. But yes, please watch the replay. Leave a comment. Any suggestions? Any poets you'd like to hear some poems of that I haven't covered? And then make sure you like, subscribe, hit a playlist. I got some interesting playlists. Comment in one of the videos that you're watching the playlist. That'd be greatly appreciated. And then as well, watch some shorts. Got some interesting shorts out there. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, hit some of those shorts. They're interesting. Leave a like, comment. Anything you'd like to see me do in a short. Somebody did comment. I had Jimmy John. I kind of, because I'm bored, I do a short of my lunch. It's in the middle of the night, and so I make a short of whatever I'm eating. And I had Jimmy John's the other night, and somebody said, "Oh, I'll do you one better. You need to go to Wendy's and take a picnic tablecloth and then fancy china, or not fancy china, but cutlery, and eat at Wendy's." So I could do that. But anyway, if you've got any suggestions for a short, leave those in the shorts. More comments, the better. And the more thumbs up and views, it's great. But I appreciate everybody being here. Anyway, got some popcorn, so I'm all hungry. Got my Coke Zero. Anyway, we'll read a few poems. Having some fun. Yeah. Definitely, for sure. So the first one is by Sir Walter Riley, and it is called The Nymphs Reply to a Shepherd. Oh, doubling up. Doubling up. All right, so again, the nymphs reply to the shepherd. If all the world and love were young, and truth in every shepherd's tongue, these pretty pleasures might be move. Might me move. Let me start again. If all the world and love were young, and truth in every shepherd's tongue, these pretty pleasures might me move. To live with thee and be thy love. Time drives the flocks from field to fold. When rivers rage and rocks grow cold, and Philomel becometh dumb, the rest complains of cares to come. The flowers do fade, and wanton fields to wayward winter reckoning yields. A honey tongue, a heart of gall, is fancy's spring, but sorrow's fall. Thy gowns, thy shoes, thy beds of roses, thy cap, thy girdle, and thy posies soon break, soon wither, soon forgotten. In folly ripe, in reason rotten. Thy belt of straw and ivy buds, the coral clasps and amber studs, all these in me no means can move. To come to thee and be thy love, but could youth last and love still breed, had joys no date, nor age no need, then these delights my mind might move, to live with thee and be thy love. Yes, yes, a bit romantic for sure. The next one's by Percy Blythe Shelley, by Percy Shelley, from Prometheus Unbound. A poet's lips I slept. On a poet's lips I slept, dreaming like a love adept. In the sound his breathing kept, nor seeks nor finds he mortal blisses, but feeds on the aerial kisses of shapes and haunt thought's wilderness. Of shapes that haunt thought's wilderness. He will watch from dawn to gloom, the lake reflected sun illume. The yellow bees in the ivy bloom, nor heed nor see what things they be, but from these create he can forms more real than living man, nurslings of immortality. By William Butler Yeats, W.B. Yeats. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. This is a good one. I love this one. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the lilinet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core. All right, we got another one here by Sir Walter Riley. Evening such is time. Even such is time, not evening. And I'll have a little popcorn. Even such is time. Even such is time, which takes in trust our youth, our joys, and all we have, and pays us but with age and dust, who in the dark and silent grave, when we have wandered all our ways, shut up the story of our days. But from this earth, this grave, this dust, my God shall raise me up, I trust. Here's one by Ben Jonson on my first son. Farewell, though child of my right hand and joy, my sin was too much hope of thee, loved boy. 7 years thou wert lent to me, and I thee pay, exacted by thy fate on the just day. Oh, could I lose all father now? For why will man lament the state he should envy? To have so soon escaped worlds and flesh's rage, and if no other misery yet age, rest in soft peace and asked, say, here doth lie Ben Jonson, his best piece of poetry, for whose sake henceforth all his vows be such as what he loved may never like too much. Here's one by George Herbert. Virtue. Sweet day, so cool, so calm, so bright, the bridal of the earth and sky, the dew shall weep thy fall tonight, for thou must die, sweet rose, whose hue angry and brave, whose rose, sweet rose, whose hue angry and brave, bids the rash gazer wipe his eyes. Thy root is ever in its grave, and thou must die. Sweet spring, full of sweet days and roses, a box where sweets compacted lie. My music shows ye have your closes, and all must die. Only a sweet and virtuous soul, like seasoned timber, never gives, but though the whole world turn to coal, then chiefly lives. William Blake, The Clot and the Pebble. The Clod and the Pebble. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself hath any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. So sung a little clod of clay, trodden with the cattle's feet. But a pebble of the brook warbled out these meters meet. Love seeketh only self to please, to bind another to its delight, joys in another's loss of ease, and builds a hell in heaven's despite. Here's one of my favorites by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling leaves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. Well. Let's read a poem by John Dryden. Happy the man. Happy the man, and happy he alone, he who can call today his own. He who, secure within, can say, tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today. Be fair or foul, or rain or shine. The joys I have possessed, in spite of fate, are mine. Not heaven itself upon the past has power, but what has been, and I have had my hour. Here's one by Robbie Burns, the great Scottish, the poet. Epitaph on William Murr. An honest man here lies at rest, as e'er God with his image blessed. The friend of man, the friend of truth, the friend of age and guide of youth. Few hearts like his with virtue warmed, few heads with knowledge so informed. If there's another world, he lives in bliss. If there is none, he made the best of this. Sonnet 18, William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines. By chance, or nature's changing course, untrimmed, but thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eye can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. When I have fears that I may cease to be, by the great John Keats. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain, before high piled books in charactery hold like rich garners the full ripened grain, when I behold upon the night starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance, and when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more, never have relish in the fairer power of unreflecting love, then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone and think, till love and fame to nothingness do sink. John Milton, from Samson Agonist. This? O loss of sight, of thee I must complain. O loss of sight, of thee I must complain, blind among enemies. O, worse than chains, dungeon, or beggary, or decrepit age. Light, the prime work of God, to me is extinct, and all her various objects of delight annulled, which might in part my grief have eased, inferior to the vilest now become. Of man or worm the vilest here excel me. They creep, yet see I, dark in light, exposed to daily fraud, contempt, abuse, and wrong, within doors or without, still as a fool, in power of others, never in my own. Scarce half I seem to live, dead more than half. O dark, 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 amid the blaze of moon, irrecoverably dark, total eclipse, without all hope of day. Death, be not proud, by John Donne. Death, be not proud. Thou, though death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow. Die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, must pleasure, much pleasure, then from thee, much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls' delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell, and poppy or charms can make us sleep as well. And better than thy stroke, why swellest thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die. Oh, yes. I'm going to read. Oh, wait a minute. Where was that one? D.H. Lawrence, piano. Softly in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years till I see a child sitting under the piano. In the boom of the tingling strings and pressing the small poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tingling piano our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor. With the great black piano passionato, the clamor of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast. Down in the flood of remembrance, I weep like a child for the past. I like that one. I memorized that in college. At university. Yes. Tiger, tiger, burning bright. This is The Tiger by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? All right, boom, and just like that, it's been a half hour. So, again, tune in next time. Like, subscribe, play some playlists. Till next episode.